Alabama here. No, you go for it all the way. Slaughter picked up her dribble. The shot goes!
You know it's getting good out on the hardwood. Lots of great shots and big-time performances. Hello to my friends at the Birmingham Tip-Off Club. We have great action to continue to talk with, and nothing still compares to what's happening right here in the state of Alabama in basketball. Let's begin with Alabama. Since we last met, the Tide won all 4 of its games, including last week over Mississippi State in Starkville, 88-84. Then this past Saturday, Bama steamrolled Georgia on the capstone, 90-69.
We just had a game plan for them, and we went out there and executed it.
I mean, I feel like the offense for us as a team kind of comes naturally.
Just playing hard and, just making the right plays and just not forcing things and just letting the game flow natural.
The Tide is 19-3 on the season and plays next on Saturday on the road at Arkansas. What about Auburn? The top-ranked Tigers just keep on winning. Winners of 13 straight now, including 2 road games this past week. On Wednesday of last week, Auburn handles LSU 87-74. Then on Saturday, the Tigers hold off Ole Miss and Oxford 92-82. Auburn is dancing and having loads of fun on the way to a tune of 20-1. And this week, the Tigers with 2 home games against Oklahoma and then Florida. UAB had a great week as well. The Blazers win twice. First, it was a 78-68 win at Tulsa. That was followed up by an impressive home victory against Charlotte. 96-78, UAB is 14-8 and plays at Bartow tonight against North Texas. Let's go around the SEC. Despite the absence of 2 starters, Tennessee earns its biggest win over an AP Top 5 opponent, 64-44, as Florida suffers its worst offensive performance of the season. In John Calipari's return to Rupp Arena, Adu Thero scored 21 points, and Janelle Davis added 18 to help Arkansas earn an 89-79 upset victory over Kentucky. Missouri's elite three-point shooting was on full display in its 88-61 road win over Mississippi State as Caleb Grill leads the charge with 6 of Missouri's 15 triples. Devin McLaughlin leads the offense with 22 points, while Jalen Moore puts up 19 to secure a 97-67 win for Oklahoma against Vanderbilt. Texas outscores LSU 58-33 in the second half to secure a commanding 89-58 victory, with Trey Johnson, Tremont Mark, and Caden Shedrick leading the way for the Longhorns. Wade Taylor IV puts on a performance as he leads the offense with 25 points and 7 three-pointers to give Texas A&M a 76-72 victory over South Carolina. Back around the state we go. Samford takes care of business against the Citadel. The Bulldogs win 83-58. Buckyball improves to 18-5. Jacksonville State flexes its muscle at home against Liberty 72-61. The Gamecocks climb to 15-7 on the season. Alabama State had its chances against Bethune-Cookman, but the Hornets faltered down the stretch 67-64. ASU slips to 8-13. Troy looks strong at home against Louisiana Monroe 87-50 as the Trojans improve to 15-7. Women's play from yesterday, Alabama slams Georgia 72-57 as the Tide women stand at 19-5 right now. Auburn ladies run into a buzzsaw on the road at second-ranked South Carolina. The Gamecocks just too good, 83-66. As for right now, you know it's going to be a great meeting with our special guest speaker. Nate Oats has won everywhere he's been, starting at high school in Wisconsin, later a high school coach at a town near Detroit at Romulus High School.
Hey, dude, you got pressure him. You know what I'm saying? Stay in. Trey, you got to talk! Let's go! Good, Vin. Talk, good, Cody. All right, we got to drive, kick.
Then on to college. He's been at Buffalo and now at Bama, where the Tide advanced to the Final Four last season and is poised to make a deep run again. So sit back and relax and enjoy what Coach has to say here in just a little bit, and we'll see you next time.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the February 3rd meeting of the Greater Birmingham Tip-Off Club. I hope you were with us 2 weeks ago. We had an outstanding meeting with Coach Bruce Pearl from the #1 ranked Auburn Tigers. We honored Dwayne Brown is our high school player of the week, the top boys player in the state, who's going to continue his career at Tennessee. We heard from Preston Kirk about from Knight Eady about the women's regional that's coming up at the end of March, a huge event. And I'll remind you that if you'd like to volunteer for that, be sure and see Preston or Daniel Smith or some of the Knight Eady folks, or tell me and I'll connect you. But that's going to be a big time event, and would love for you have you get involved with that. We're excited today. Another terrific meeting. Great crowd today. I hope everybody got a meal. I see my friend Don over there. I hope everybody got a bite to eat. I know we were running close, but it's a terrific crowd, jam-packed agenda. We got a lot to cover today. We're going to hear from Coach Oats, who I think will be the number 3 ranked team today. Has anybody heard? The poll should come out any minute, but expecting to be number 3. And I got a confirmation from Hoyle Broom. So, but I want to point out, Coach is coming directly from practice. He's going to be cutting it close. He's going to arrive about 12:45. So we will give him his 30 minutes regardless of when he arrives. So we'll continue on past our usual 1 o'clock time. And I know that's inconvenient for some of you and you'll have to leave. But we want to make sure you knew that he's on his way, and we expect him around 12:45. But we got plenty to cover before he gets here. We've got an announcement about a project that we're real excited about. We'll hear a little bit about that in just a bit. We have our night with the squadron and get a report on that in just a bit. That's coming up Thursday night. We really encourage you to be there for that. We're going to have a big time. $30 ticket includes dinner and premium seating, so you can't beat it. And we're going to hear from the coach. So please plan to be with us Thursday night for our squadron night, and we'll hear more about that in just a bit. Tickets are available today as you leave the room. There's a table out front. Our Alabama Power Speaker Series will continue. We're working on a February 17th program. We haven't pinned it down yet, so watch for word about that. That's 2 weeks from today. We hope to have a meeting that day. And of course, you've heard about our others, the March 3rd meeting with our panelist from the NCAA Men's Selection Committee will be with us. That's going to be a great meeting. And then Andy Kennedy on March 24th. So big schedule ahead. We're working on a couple of other meetings, and we'll keep you posted. Let's see. Did B.J. Stabler make it? I was looking for B.J. I don't guess he's here. Or Sheriff Petway. Okay. Let's see. I do know that the great Bruce Sokol is here. Where's Bruce Sokol? Bruce, there he is. Okay. Wave your hand or stand up. Bruce is one of our charter members, one of our founding fathers, and it's great to have him back with us as he's I started to say Bruce has been here since day one, but he was here before day one. He was the behind the scenes putting this together with people like Frank Nix and Leon Marlaire and of course C.M. Newton, I think maybe had the original suggestion that we get this club together. Ed Myerson, Bill Jacka, people like that. So Bruce, great to see you, and we appreciate all you did to get us up and running over 50 years ago. Before we get to the invocation, I mentioned Leon Marlaire. I think most of you are aware that Leon died 10 days ago, roughly, and I want us to remember him because he was such a force in this club, our first president, member of the famed Rocket 8, one of Alabama's greatest teams. The club has an award named after him for distinguished service. In fact, I think we have several of the people that have won that award. If you've won the Leon Marlaire Award, please stand up. I know we've got several here. Barbara and Jim and Jimmy and William. But if you would, let's have just a brief moment of silence for Leon Marlaire, our very first president, if you'd bow with me. Thank you. And now I'll invite Perrin Carroll forward for our invocation. Perrin is the executive director at Jimmy Hale Mission, and we're all aware of what great work that group has done for over 80 years to provide shelter to our homeless population and recovery, pathway to recovery. And so we're glad to have Perrin with us for our invocation and pledge. Perrin Carroll.
Good afternoon. It's wonderful to see the evidence that we are no longer a one-sport state. Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for gathering us here today to share fellowship, encouragement, and inspiration. As we come together, we are reminded of the lessons we learned from basketball and how they reflect the values you call us to live by. Lord, just as we practice teamwork on the court, help us to work together in our daily lives to serve you and support one another in moving closer to you. Teach us to be strong through the challenges in life, remain humble and obedient in the victories, and show grace in defeats, knowing that every step of our journey is guided by your hand. Help us to remember that the greatest victories in life are not found in awards or trophies, but in the hearts of those that are changed by your love. May we always seek to bring you glory in everything that we do. Bless this food that we are receiving and the hands that prepared it. May it feed our bodies as your word feeds our souls. May this time together strengthen us in our faith and renew our commitment to follow you. For it's in your name we pray. Amen. Now, if you'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Perrin. And I know we've got a good number of guests here today. I wanted to encourage you that we'd love to have you as a member, and your guest fee today can be applied towards your membership. So keep that in mind and come on board and join us if you will. All right, as I mentioned, a jam-packed agenda, and we'll now call on our MC, Kevin Skarbinski, to take us the rest of the way. Kevin?
Don't everyone applaud at once. Are there more people here than there were last Wednesday night in Starkville? Looks pretty close. Looks pretty close. How's it feel to live in the #1 basketball state in the United States of America? Now, I know what some of you skeptics and cynics are thinking. That's an idle boast, but no. I come armed with receipts. How many Division I programs are there in the state of Alabama? 10. Thank you, Scotty. I know many of you knew that. Scotty just beat you to the punch. Let me tell you where those 10 schools rank in their conference right now. Auburn, first in the SEC at 8-0. Jacksonville State, first in Conference USA at 7-2. Samford, first in the Southern Conference at 8-2. But are we top heavy? No. Let's go down the list. In the AAC, UAB, 7-2, one game out of first place. In the A-Sun, North Alabama, 7-3, one game out of first place in second place. Alabama, 8-1 in the SEC, one half game out of first place in the SEC. Troy, 8-2, one game out of first place. 8-3. Don't inflate my alma mater's record. They're 8-3 in the Sun Belt. They are one game out of first place. And South Alabama is 7-4. They are 2 games out of first place in the Sun Belt. And even Alabama State and Alabama A&M, while not having their best seasons, Alabama State is even in the SWAC at 4-4. Alabama A&M is 3-5. So when you add all those numbers up, you get 67 wins and 26 losses for a winning percentage of .720. Now, do you know where that ranks among the 50 states? All the Division I programs, if you separate them by state, you add up their wins, you add up their losses, you calculate their winning percentage. That is third overall. The only two states that are higher are Maine, which has one Division I program, which is Maine. The Bears are 6-2, which is a 75% winning percentage, and New Mexico, which has two schools, the University of New Mexico, which is having a great season, and New Mexico State. They are combined 15-5, so they are winning at a 75% clip. So of all the states in the country that have more than two Division I programs, see what I did there? The state of Alabama has the highest winning percentage in its Division I basketball programs. I don't know if that's ever happened before. I haven't done these numbers before, but that is pretty impressive. That's even higher than the state of North Carolina. Now, some of you may have watched College Game Day on Saturday from Cameron Indoor Stadium. You heard ESPN all week hype up, blow up the Carolina-Duke rivalry, the best rivalry in college basketball. Allow me to retort. Let's look at the 5+ years since Nate Oats got to Alabama. Alabama and Auburn combined 270 and 105. Think about that for a second. 270, 105 in 5+ years. That's a 72% winning percentage. Duke and Carolina, 266 and 115. That's only 698. Advantage, IBOB. In conference play, Alabama, Auburn, 135 and 62. Duke and North Carolina, because they played more games in the ACC, in a lesser conference, I might add, 145 and 71. If you compare winning percentages, it's this state, 685, that state's rivalry, 671. Advantage, IBOB. Conference championships, right? Because it's all about championships. Alabama and Auburn, since 2019-2020, have won 6 SEC championships. Duke and Carolina, 3. Twice as many for the state of Alabama. Well, what about AP rankings? Because that's about reputation, right? That's a bunch of people that might or might not know basketball. Which rivalry has had more weeks in the AP Top 25? Alabama and Auburn, 145. Duke and North Carolina, 138. Oh, but wait a minute. Who's been in the top 5 more often? Alabama and Auburn, 44 weeks. Duke and North Carolina, 36 weeks. Oh, but who's been number 1? Alabama and Auburn, 8 weeks. Duke and Carolina, 6 weeks. Do you get where I'm going here? You see what I'm saying? The only advantage that Duke and Carolina have over Alabama and Auburn in the last 5+ years, they've been to 2 Final Fours in that time. In that time, this state's been to 1. That's only for now. Check back in April. Can I get an amen? All right, I could go on. And if you want to know, I must have too much free time on my hands. I did actually calculate the winning percentage of every single Division I program by state. I almost broke my brain. All right, but let's move on. We've already established this is the #1 basketball state in the United States of America, and anyone who wants to dispute, I will fight you. All right, now let's welcome for a membership update. This is, again, an incredible crowd. Our Vice President, Barbara McElroy.
Well, with the job that Dick and Kevin and so many members of our club have done, it makes membership super easy. And having a coach speak like Nate Oats also makes membership super easy. When I sat down 45 minutes ago, we were 1 away from hitting our membership goal for the year. So I challenge you to take us over the top by the end of this meeting, and I think you can. Really appreciate. In fact, if there's anybody who's a member here for the first time or a guest for the first time, would you be comfortable standing so we can recognize you? brings us great joy to see this full room. But on behalf of Leslie Claybrook, who is my co-chair of this committee, plus our members on the committee, thank you. And let's just continue going. The more members we get, the more meetings we can have, the better speakers, although you don't get much better than Bruce Pearl and Nate Oats, but the more great speakers we can bring to our club. So I appreciate your support.
Thank you, Barbara. Another area of basketball that makes this state what it is the high school level. And before we know it, the Alabama High School Athletic Association finals will be down the street at Legacy Arena. To give us an update on the planning and preparation from Knight Eady, please welcome Daniel Smith.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, all of the Birmingham Tip-Off Club members. The support that you guys provide to the high school basketball championship it does not go unnoticed. There are a lot of elements that you guys provide a great experience for in both the hospitality area as well as the team host areas and so many more. And so, as Dick has probably mentioned to you guys a lot, there's opportunities available for the March Madness coming up here in a few weeks. But if you want to get your feet wet a little bit earlier, there's high school basketball that can be experienced as well. And so, as you'll see on the screen right behind me, the championship dates for this year are February 24th, which is a Monday, through Saturday, March 1st. If you're just a basketball fan in general, there's 42 basketball games that are played in that 6-day period. So as a whole, you can come in, you can be able to volunteer, and then you can also watch a lot of basketball. And so there's so many great opportunities with this championship. We are thrilled and honored for it to be in Birmingham still. Legacy Arena is an amazing venue for this championship. And if we continue on the same trend that we have the last few years, we will do really, really good in terms of attendance. There's a ton of talent, as we've kind of mentioned here, from a college level. There's also a ton of talent at the high school level as well. So there's plenty of opportunities for you guys to come and help out and support the championships, but also just to experience them. So if you guys want to do that, feel free to reach out to Dick or Jimmy or any of the others that are kind of long-term partners for this championship. In terms of other activities that are going on, obviously Coach Hunter would be able to give you guys some updates as well, but the regular season is kind of finishing up, so that a lot of postseason play is starting with the regionals and sub-regional rounds here in the next few weeks. So there's a lot of basketball that's going to be played then too. So this is a great time of year for basketball, and we are excited to have the high school championships back at Legacy Arena in Birmingham. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Daniel. And of course, you should endeavor to get to Legacy Arena for the games, but if you can't, you can watch them on Alabama Public Television, despite the fact that I'll be the host. Don't let that deter you, please. But there's also great basketball in this state at the professional level, thanks to the Birmingham Squadron. And we have a special evening coming up fast. Tell us more about it. The head of that committee, Ken Roden.
Good afternoon. By the way, Kevin, I grew up in Florence. I've not been to a UNA basketball game in over 40 years until Saturday night. And I went up to Florence, and it was an incredible environment. Packed house. Coach Pujol there is doing a great job, who was on Anthony Grant's staff at Alabama years ago. So outstanding basketball around our state. Thursday night. This Thursday night is Squadron night for our tip-off club at Legacy Arena. We worked really hard with the Squadron staff to identify a date that didn't conflict with all the great basketball in the state. So Alabama, Auburn, Samford, and UAB are not playing Thursday night, so that should help in scheduling this on your personal schedules. Tickets are $30 for members and guests, so encourage you to bring friends and family. 5:30 p.m., gates will open for us for pregame shoot-around. If you're like me, I love to get there really early, watch shoot-around, so door opens at 5:30 p.m. There's a special entrance for us. It's A2. If you're familiar with Legacy, that's in the southwest portion of Legacy Arena. Following the game, there's a group photo. I know you don't want to miss that. Really important. Dinner will be served in the VIP club area, the Arena Club, at 6 o'clock. The squadron coach will speak to our group at 6:10, so you would certainly want to be there to hear Coach speak, and the tip-off is at 7 p.m. There are paper tickets available. I know there's some of you that really prefer having a paper ticket in your hand. Those are available in the lobby for sale. Thanks to Leslie and all of her staff for making paper tickets available. That's very, very nice of them. You can also buy tickets through a link that are electronic, of course, through the email note that was sent out, and I guess, Dick, there'll be another one sent out to our membership before the game. So if you need to make a decision at the last minute, you can purchase that ticket electronically. Thanks to everyone. Look forward to seeing you Thursday night. Again, tip-off is at 7 p.m. at Legacy Arena.
Thank you, Ken. I got a little excited when you said gates were going to open for a pregame shoot-around. I thought you meant we could shoot around. I was going to challenge Wade Kaiser to a three-point contest. All right, now a very special project that is taking place that you may or may not be aware of, but you're about to. You're about to learn all about it from our members Scotty Colson and Harry Bayer.
Y'all know me, I have to ask something first, since this is all of us basketball fans. Any Dallas Mavericks fans out here? I just want to know when Jerry Jones bought the team. Having started out that way, this club has a wonderful history of supporting good causes in this community, particularly to support basketball. From the beginning in 1973, this club pioneered bringing in big games to this town, pioneered bringing in NCAA tournaments, pioneered in high school tournaments, holiday tournaments, all-star tournaments. We talked about the HSAA Final Fours here. Tip-Off Club, one of the folks who really pushed that. Over the years, we have redone courts throughout the city. If you've been near Marconi Park downtown and seen the court that has always got a game going, I went by there last week when it was 28 degrees. There was guys playing. Loved it. That was what we did as a club, a charity that we did, that we supported, because we make this community better when we act and we work together with our friends and the good programs in this community. So that's what we've done. I'm going to let Harry tell you what we're going to do and then introduce the people who make it happen.
Got to move this down a little bit. Thank you, Scotty. Are there many ACC fans out there? Just wanted to know. When we started talking about this project, we just felt, after talking to several people, and one of our members is Greg Johnson. I don't think Greg is here today, though. Are you here? Oh, you are there. I thought you were going to be out of town. Anyway, he sort of told us a lot more about the Lakeshore Foundation. And we went out there, and we met with them several times. I've been there before, but this just blew us away. And we have really enjoyed meeting the people out at Lakeshore. And there's been some wonderful stories that have transpired, and I know Jen's going to tell you about some of them. But it just does your heart good to hear about some of the things that happened. The people have been out there so long, and and the success stories of their lives after they've been there. Several of us in here know a kid by the name of Abraham Hausman Weiss in wheelchair basketball. And he grew up out there. And I think his mom worked there for a while also. And Abraham had no use of his legs and went to the University of Alabama. I think, Jen, he was on 2 national championship teams down there. And we saw him play at halftime on some of the games. Today, he went to Alabama and he was in engineering. He graduated. He works for a great company down in South Florida. I couldn't tell you the name, but I knew that. And he's engaged to get married. And you hear that kind of story a lot out there. So I'm not going to really talk too much more about this. I don't want to take any more of your time, Jen. Jen, are you the director of programming? I thought maybe director of everything. I wasn't sure. Oh, one last thing. The one thing that scares me is wheelchair rugby. And that must be unbelievable because we saw some wheelchair basketball games. It can get kind of rough. Anyway, Jen, please come up.
Thanks, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be here representing Lakeshore, and thanks to my many Lakeshore colleagues who are here today, including Abraham's college roommate, Rashad. Rashad, who is probably dying inside right now that I'm calling him out in front of all these people. But, you know, Harry mentioned a person who has benefited from our programs. But, you know, Rashad was Abraham's high school teammate. He was his college roommate on those national championship team. And, you know, Kevin, I want to add to your receipts. When you talk about basketball acumen in Alabama, we need to make sure that we get you on, you know, our basketball acumen. Alabama, Auburn, we're the only state with 2 of our top universities that have wheelchair basketball programs who have won numerous championships in the men's and women's collegiate divisions. Our high school basketball team have won 3 back-to-back national championships, and they are currently ranked number 2. Rashad is the assistant coach of that team. And the list goes on and on. We work really hard at Lakeshore. We have a really 100-year history of delivering great programs in this community to people with physical disabilities and chronic health conditions. A lot of it started with wheelchair basketball. That desire to make sure that people that loved basketball had an opportunity to play. And when I think about our connection with the Tip-Off Club, and I listened to that story about 1973 and talking about how to bring basketball to this community, at that same time at Lakeshore, we were working hard how to figure out how to do wheelchair basketball. So there's a perfect connect. As I look around this room today, I see so many people who have been so supportive of our work, from our incredible board of directors, many of whom are here today, to some of our founding junior board members in Clayton who have been so good to us over the years. And we couldn't do what we do without community support. A big piece of what we do is we create gap fillers. We make sure that kids and adults who want to play sport, who need to play sport to live active, healthy lifestyles, have the opportunity to do so. They don't have the opportunity to do that in their elementary, their high school, or in their community recreation programs, and Lakeshore closes that gap for them. So just like you can drive around the community and see ball happening on all these community courts, every night of the week you can see that happening at Lakeshore. The culminating events of that often are big tournaments. And one of those big tournaments is our Pioneer Classic, and we really want to thank the Tip-Off Club for coming out to our Pioneer Classic. It is always on MLK weekend. We bring 21 of the nation's top adult and youth teams to this community who spend 4 days here playing basketball, spending time in Birmingham, and really believing, as you said, Kevin, that Alabama is a basketball community. We're honored as well. Basketball is a great conduit to serve our nation's veterans. We work hard to make sure that men and women who return from combat with disability have the opportunity to continue in sport. Basketball's been a lovely way to do that. The National Wheelchair Basketball Association just announced that they are hosting and now naming officially an injured military division that will play alongside those men's and women's and youth teams in our community. So excited for that endeavor to keep moving along. a lot of times people will ask us, you know, I love basketball and I really want to understand how is this the same or how is this different than basketball. So I want to show you a really quick video that just is a skills and drills video that hopefully will show you that basketball is basketball.
Legendary. I'm legendary.
You can do this drill anywhere from your house.
All you need is a basketball and yourself.
So when you're practicing your dribbling, always make sure that you're looking up. Just like that.
We're gonna work on muscle development.
Out of the dust.
Go down.
A legend is born.
And back up.
Born for the game. Up from the ground. And out of the gates. I am the storm. I am the thunder. I am the eye of the hurricane.
Make sure that your elbow is always in a straight line with the basket, and I'm following through.
And there's a couple different passes that we're going to go over.
From ball handling to shooting to all the fundamentals will help you get to the next level.
So we're thrilled to have the opportunity to work with the Tip-Off Club. We hope that this is the first of many, many opportunities to speak with the group. We look forward to joining the Tip-Off Club and being here on a regular basis to be part of the fabric of basketball in this community. So thank you very, very much for the opportunity. And truly, we could not do what we do without community support. It takes a tremendous amount of human resource, of financial resource to do what we do. And it is absolutely true that the Tip-Off Club will play a meaningful role in our success moving forward, and we thank you.
Thank you, Jen. I don't know that it gets any more inspiring than that. You know, Alabama gives out a hard hat award after every game. I think you might have to invent something far more significant than a hard hat award for what those folks do every day and the way they compete and the resilience they show. Again, congratulations to everything that's happening at Lake Shore. All right. This is, again, a special state in basketball because of what happens at every level. And at the high school level, one of the things that sets the AHSAA state finals apart is it brings the best girls and boys teams to Legacy Arena for the semifinals and championship games. And now to recognize our player of the week, remember, before there was Grant Nelson, there was Wade Kaiser.
I never had that good of a mustache. Never did. All right, today our player of the week is Ashlyn Howard. And before I get started, I do have to recognize Ashlyn's dad, my former AAU teammate, which I didn't even put together till I got in here today. And he walked up and saw me, Aldrin Howard, the Shades Valley coach. So she's the daughter of a coach. and all the stories he told you are true. No lies. Did we ever lose in Alabama? In the state of Alabama? Never lost. I don't think we did, actually. All right, so Ashlyn is joined here today at the head table by her coach, Tanya Hunter. Tanya was here last year as well with her daughter. She coached at Shades Valley for 10 years and has been at Hewitt since 2014, has 460 total wins in those years, 10 area championships, 8 Elite Eights, 4 Final Fours, 3 runner-up, 1 state championship, 2-time 6A Coach of the Year, 1-time 7A Coach of the Year. Last year, she was the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Game head coach, and they won 63-59, and her daughter Jordan, who's now at Auburn, was the MVP. The team this year, they're ranked 7th and 9th, depending on who you're looking at that's ranking the high school teams in 7A. Record is 19-11. They have played a really tough schedule. All of their losses are for ranked teams in Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama. Just a little word from Tanya about Ashlyn. Ashlyn Howard was a dedicated and hardworking player who fully embraced everything the program offered her and more. Despite only playing varsity for 3 years, she trusted our development process, committed herself to continuous improvement. Year after year, she refined her skills, listened to her coaching, did everything asked of her to elevate both her game and our team.
Her dedication and perseverance paid off as she earned a Division I scholarship through sheer effort and belief in the program. Ashlyn ultimately signed with the University of Alabama at Birmingham women's basketball team, a testament to her unwavering commitment and growth. So Ashlyn was a member of the North-South All-Star game last year, was a member of the runner-up team last year in 7A. This season, she has 11 double-doubles. She averages a double-double, 13.6 points, 11.2 rebounds a game, and our Tip-Off Cub Player of the Week, Ashlyn Howard.
First, I would like to thank the Birmingham Tip-Off Club for having me, and then I would like to thank God for all my blessings. I owe so much gratitude to my coaches, including AAU, for the impact they have had on making me the player I am today. Their tireless dedication, constant guidance, and their extreme belief in my abilities, even when I doubted myself, pushed me beyond any measure I could have imagined. I feel so blessed to have been part of such an amazing program at Hewitt-Trussell where I pushed beyond my limits and challenged to be better every day. Coach Hunter provided me with the blueprint that not only taught me the skills of the game, but the importance of trusting the process and to persevere at being the best version of myself. I must thank my teammates, both current and past, because without them, none of this would have been possible. They pushed me each day, which helped me to improve my game. To my parents, I am also so grateful for the countless sacrifices of your time and money and making sure I was at every practice and game. Most importantly, they couldn't be here today, but I would like to thank my two big brothers for always being there for me and being my biggest fans. This award is an honor, and I'm thankful for the acknowledgement. I will keep this momentum going by continuing to work hard and getting better as a player and striving for more milestones. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ashlyn. I have a feeling, and Coach, I have a feeling we may be seeing you guys in a few weeks at Legacy Arena, as we did last year. As we mentioned, there he is. As we mentioned, Alabama gives out a Hard Hat Award. I don't know if Jim Conrad's ever won one of those, but he may have retired the trophy for the Hard Head Award. Welcome, Jim Conrad.
Thank you. I've developed some hiccups while eating and drinking, just water, but I'll do the best I can. There was one thing about Leon. Leon was he was a friend to everybody. He won a lot of awards. He's very proud of the awards he has. But I had kind of a little joke I had with Leon. He's attended Bradley High School in Illinois, and 1952 is when he graduated. In 2005, 53 years later, he was voted to the Bradley High School Hall of Fame. And I said, Leon, why did it take 53 yards to get you there? And he said, they just had a lot of good athletes. But anyway, Leon was truly a great friend, and when Coach comes, but he needs to know Leon was a great supporter of the University of Alabama. He was the president of the A Club for the Letterman of all the sports, but he was a great guy and did a great job for us. I'm sorry. There were some interesting ball games this weekend. Maybe the most interesting was Arkansas beating Kentucky at Kentucky by 10 points. To tell you how meaningful that was, that of all the people that picked in our awards here for the ball and the brick. Of all the people, nobody picked Arkansas. Shows great knowledge that I have, but that was certainly a surprise. We have a couple of Kentucky fans here. They're still here. One interesting game, another one was that Tennessee beat Florida by 20. A month ago, Florida beat Tennessee by 30. Home field advantage, home court advantage. And the other game that was really interesting was Oklahoma played Mississippi State, and Oklahoma was down by 19 in the first quarter and won by 30. So some interesting games. Now I'm going to get into our awards. Coach is on his way. He will sign the basketball. I'm going to give the brick first. This is for the worst pick of the week. Jim Turnipseed had the worst pick. Is Jim here? Here he comes. Now, what's really interesting is that Jim provides the brick for us each week. And what's more interesting, we have a nice plaque on here. It says, "Congratulations on your brick, Birmingham Tip-Off Club." And for the first time, it's come loose, and this won't stick here. All the rest of them have, so it's only fitting that you can put the plaque back on the brick. All right, Jim. And we do appreciate him getting, we used to have a little plastic ball we threw around and all that, but we've got a real brick. Jim goes by a construction site on his way here. All right, are we ready for the winners? Now, you have now convinced me that we're number one in the state. Not number one in the state, number one in the country. I'm getting things mixed up. All right, the winner, incidentally, Jim got 35% right. Now we go down to the winners. We had a lot of picks and had a tiebreaker, but the overall winner, and I call him Coach, is Houston Kennedy. Houston, is he here? Not here. All right, he must be present to win or lose. James Huckabee is here. All right, you'll get the ball if you will. When Coach comes, we'll get him to sign it, and you come up after the meeting and get the ball. All right, I'm sorry for my voice, but yes, I made it through. Turn it back over to Kevin.
We're still, he should be here any minute, and I left my cell phone in the car, unfortunately. But we expect that Coach Oats will be here shortly. Until he gets here, so I'm going to hold off on his introduction until I see him pop through the doors. Because I did all this math, does anyone want to throw a state at me and ask who do you think of states that have more than 2 Division I programs outside of Alabama, who do you think has the best winning percentage, all their Division I teams combined in their conference? Anybody want to take a guess? New Jersey. This is not in alphabetical order. It's not New Jersey is, it should be in alphabetical order. It's not New Jersey, obviously. I'll tell you what, let's do it this way. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't count Vermont because they have 1 team. There are 3 other states that are have a 600 winning percentage, all their Division I programs combined in their conference, not overall record, just their league record, which is the best way, I think, to compare because it's apples and apples, the teams within your conference. And a lot of these teams have to play a lot of bye games in the non-conference to help fund their athletic departments. So it's not fair, really, to take their overall records. So who are the other three states? Anybody want to take a guess that have over a 600 winning percentage combined? Tennessee. No, Tennessee actually is pretty good. Tennessee's at 594. Indiana has a losing record overall. Sorry, Hoosiers. Illinois has a losing record overall. Sorry to the Illini. Kansas only has 3 Division I programs. They have a losing record overall. Texas. No, it is not Texas. It's not Kentucky. Kentucky does have a winning record overall, but it's not Kentucky. Michigan, let's see. Michigan is winning. They do have a winning record overall. They have 7 Division I programs. 531 is their overall winning percentage. Iowa, we have a winner. Iowa has 4 Division I programs. They are winning at a 659 clip in their leagues. All right, that's 2. You will never, you will never guess. New Mexico, we already said they have, but they only have 2. So they have a 750 winning percentage between New Mexico and New Mexico State. Okay, here's a trivia question that will answer one of these. In 2004, Alabama went to the advanced to the Elite 8. They won in the Sweet 16. They made it to the Elite 8. Where did they play? What state? 2004. Arizona. They played in Phoenix. I was there. Arizona has a 622 winning percentage among their 4 Division I programs. And I don't even have a good clue for this one. Oh, actually, I do. A player from this state, this is going to sound convoluted. A player from this state is a freshman on a Division I team in this state. He played at Alabama earlier this year. Anyone following me? Not Connecticut. Who said Nebraska? Very good. Who plays for a school in Nebraska? Ty Davis. Ty Davis from Mountain Brook. Yes, Nebraska has 3 Division I programs. They have a 677 winning percentage. So that tells you, and then you look at states like California, which has 26 Division I programs. They have a losing record overall. All those UCs, Irvine, Santa Barbara, et cetera, they have a losing record overall. Washington, D.C. has a very good record. There are a few schools in Division I. In the SEC, who do you think has outside of Alabama, who do you think has the best state winning percentage? Now, obviously, they're not all SEC programs. Think the SEC footprint. There are 12 states in the SEC. Which state outside of Alabama has the best combined winning percentage? Oklahoma has a losing record overall among their 4 Division I programs. Missouri. No, Missouri has a losing record among its 6 Division I programs. Florida, someone said Florida. Florida has a losing record among its Division I. I think they have 12 or 13 Division I programs. Texas. Texas has a 500 record among its 25 Division I programs. Alabama's the leader at 720. Did we not establish this? Yes. Pay attention, Edgar. Not the first time Edgar hasn't listened to anything I had to say. All right, enough fun with numbers. Let's talk personalities. When our guest today was hired in maybe the smartest thing Greg Burns ever done at the University of Alabama, in March of 2019, since then, The University of Alabama basketball program leads the SEC in overall wins at 136, leads the SEC in conference wins at 70, leads the SEC in championships with 4, and is the last SEC program to reach the Final Four. And last week, under this man's guidance, they won their 25th game against the top 25 program, matching the school record set by the legendary Wimp Sanderson. Last week, our guest speaker said, the program is bigger than any one person, including the head coach. That may be true, but bigger and better things keep happening to Alabama basketball since he got there. Please welcome Nate Oats.
Thanks. Sorry I'm a little late. We told me it's hard to do. We practice in the morning, so it's not an off day either. We went this morning, but we've got a bye. So a couple of years ago, the SEC instituted the bye, which isn't bad. Now that instead of 18 slots, there's 19. Everybody's got a bye somewhere in there. You still play 18 games in 19 slots. So we've got a bye midweek this week. It works out perfect. We played 9 games. We finished 8-1. We'd love to have the one back, but we're 1 game back of Auburn. They're a pretty good team this year. Then we've got a week off, and then we play our last 9. Our last 9 gets significantly hard. So we changed it up a little bit. I kind of had our meeting with our staff yesterday and said, in my opinion, we got to, get healthy because we got a lot of guys banged up. LeBaron's ankles messed up. Diabate's got 2 ankles and something else wrong. I can't remember what it is, to be honest with you. Grant Nelson's always seems to be a little banged up. Cliff was a little banged up. Darion Reed didn't come out of the game as well as we hoped he would, so he's going to be questionable even for this weekend. So, trainer was telling me we got a bunch of guys. It'd be great if they get one more day. So we decided to mix it up this morning. We came in. Usually, if we play Saturday and we don't play Tuesday, we give them Sunday off. So they had Sunday off. Then we come in, we do the whole cleanup Monday morning from the game. So the plan today originally would have been to do the whole cleanup from the game, go through all the edit, show them everything they need to get better at, what we can improve in, and then practice. Well, I said we got to get a healthy one. We got to get kind of mentally and physically rejuvenated. It's a long grind of a season. And then we got to institute some stuff that, maybe we wouldn't be able to do just 2 days out or 1 day out from a game. So I got the whole staff looking at Auburn, Tennessee, Missouri, and Florida. Those are kind of the 4 that aren't right away here with Arkansas, Texas, but Auburn's a game ahead. Missouri's a game behind. Florida and Tennessee are the 2 next best teams, in my opinion. So try to look at that, and kind of get if we can do that. And then we just got to kind of clean up some stuff that we got to get better at. Turnovers, number 1. So that was kind of the priority for the beginning of this week. So, in light of the fact we're a little banged up and we got to get rejuvenated, what we decided to do this morning was we came in to video room like normal at 8:15. They did the regular breakfast that the whole team does together at 7:45. We go into video at 8:15, and I just said, we're not doing video today. We're going right to the gym. So we went to the gym. We did an hour of skill work, a little bit of defensive in there, about 15 minutes of defense, 45 minutes of skill work, trying to get them to make correct reads. So we're going to turn the ball over 20 times. And then what I had to do is I put literally the hardest drills we have in the playbook for the last hour on the practice schedule. The players all go look at the teams before practice, look at the drills, see how practice is going to be. So it looks like, a pretty light first hour, and then go super hard second hour. And then so when we got done with the first hour, I brought them all together and kind of started. And then I said, all right, listen, we're changing it up. And then I listed off 6 captains and 6 seniors. I said, bang, bang, bang. Then we drafted up 6 teams, and I said, all right, I'll hustle it up. It's 9:40. Pop stroke opens at 10. We're going to go over and do a little mini golf, and then there'll be the winner's got. So we We did a little mini golf from like 10 o'clock to about, more like, if you understand how it operates, when those guys start moving, they don't make it. So it more was like 10:15 to about 11:45, and then I got over here. So we didn't practice for the full 2 hours, but we weren't off this morning, so I hustled over here. I lost in my group, I had me, Grant, Sears, Mo Diabate, Jaron, and there's 6 of us Chris Youngblood. That was the 6th one. I almost won. Grant Nelson beat me by 1 stroke, so Grant got me my stroke. I beat everybody else, and then my team, though, it was like 1 person from each team. We did not win. I heard we finished 4th. I didn't stick around for it to be tallied. I hit the road. So hopefully we get them a little rejuvenated, little 2 days off, essentially, for LeBaron, Darian, Mo Diabate. None of those 3 even did the skill stuff today. Hopefully they look a little better tomorrow. And then by the time we hit Saturday at Arkansas, who's coming off a big win at Kentucky, obviously we're refreshed and ready to go. But so to kind of give you the state of the union where we're at halfway through conference play, look, we thought we were going to have, and we've got an analytics company I'm sure you're all aware of that helps us, third-party one. They do a really good job. They kind of predicted we were going to have one of the best shooting teams in the country this year. Well, that was the assumption that Youngblood was healthy to start the year, Mallett was healthy to start the year, Reitzel was available the whole year, Holloway, Sears, kind of go down the list. Well, we don't have Mallett, didn't have Youngblood healthy until probably this past week. Reitzel's out for the year, so we don't have a very good shooting team like we thought we were going to have. But we do have 3 good shooters currently that are now healthy, that we're trying to get the majority of our threes to come from those 3 guys. So we've kind of changed a little bit how we play, gone a little bigger. Jaron Stevenson at 6'10" is kind of playing the 3 for us, a lot different than last year when we, our best lineup, when you kind of factor in offensive leverage and defensive leverage both, we didn't have a great defensive team, but offensively is the best team we'd had in the history of Alabama basketball, and we started 4 guards last year with Aaron Estrada, whose birthday it is today, so anybody that follows him on social media, go wish Aaron a happy birthday. But, it was Aaron, Mark, Reitzel, and Rylan Griffin. So we essentially started 4 guards and really shot it well and spread everybody out. We ended up being 2nd in the country in offensive efficiency and led the country in scoring. Well, this year, when we had LeBaron, Sears, Jaron, Grant, Cliff as our starters, we literally had 1 above average shooter in there, and that was Sears, and he didn't start the year out great, to be honest with you. So we kind of went a different way. We've been trying to get a lot more. We still keep it spread. We're still top 10 in the country in 3-point rate. We're still leading the country in scoring. All right, but we've had to do it a little bit different. It's more screens, more leave it open, more playing like with the big kind of out on the perimeter as a playmaker. We call it kind of like connectors. Gone to a little bit more post-ups, but not straight old school turn out, throw it in the post, let everybody load up. Like it's more quick. You push it up the floor, get a mismatch, turn it into like a back down, get the doubles, get it going, drive. So we've adjusted the offense a little bit. I think it's gone well. We're still 2nd in the country efficiency and number 1 in scoring. Now we are getting, Youngblood's getting healthy and he's shooting it really well. Sears is shooting it great in conference. Holloway's, I think, is 2nd right now in field goal percentage in the SEC, which is unheard of for a 5'11", 6-foot guard. So, we're doing it just still a little different. Now, it'd be nice if LeBaron's actually shooting it really well on catch and shoot threes. Not great off the dribble and probably taking a few too many off the dribbles. But so we're going to try to get him to understand where he's shooting it well and take a lot more of those and a lot fewer of the others. Jaron's capable of being a good shooter. We're going to keep pumping him full of confidence, but get the correct shots. We've got some other guys I think that can, help us shoot. Grant seems to only make them when the game's on the line late in the game. So I don't know if we can trick his mind into thinking it's the last 5 minutes of a tight game on every shot he takes, but he's made some big ones in his career. He just not real high percentage right now. We're working on that. But, all in all, with the injuries we've dealt with what we've had to do, pretty happy. Our defense isn't quite where we want it to be. We're still coming. I'll say this, like Cliff's, one of the best rim protectors in the country. We're doing a lot different than what Rutgers does it. And, at Rutgers, it was kind of like, ready, set, hike, run a play. All right, score a touchdown, return, throw an interception. All right, the other team walks it up, ready, set, hike. It looks a little different than the way we play, so he's had to adjust from the Big Ten to the SEC, and he's great in the half court. We're still getting him used to our pace. He's coming along. He's playing the best basketball he's played since he's been here right now. He's getting there. Aiden Sherrill just played his best game he's had since he's been here. He's coming. Diabate's playing the best basketball of his career. If we could get him healthy, I think it would help. So we've got guys that are starting to peak. LeBaron's going the other way, but he's dealing with some injuries. Hopefully we can get him healthy, and I think we can get him back turned around. So, I think we're in as good a spot as we can be. Obviously, we'd like to have that Ole Miss game back. We looked terrible against them. Dropped that one. Not sure, the staff talked, and there's motivational factors that go into all this. Not sure that we'd have won a couple of the ones after if we had won that one. That sometimes you take an L, you get motivated, then you immediately go on the road and win at Kentucky, and they were playing their best basketball when we went in there and beat them then. They're a little down. They don't have their best defender, their point guard. Kid from San Diego State that actually beat us. Lamont Butler's been pretty good. They don't have him now, so they're lost to Arkansas. They aren't at full strength, all right? Our win against them, they were full strength. So I think we've gotten it going pretty well since that Ole Miss loss. Now, the back nine is a lot tougher than the front nine for us. If you look at it, we've got 5 road games, 4 home games, 5 road games at Arkansas, who just beat Kentucky, at Texas, who's starting to play a lot better. We're also at Auburn to close the year. We're also at Tennessee, who was number 1 in the country for about a month and a half there, and at Missouri, who's only a game behind us in second place. Those are our 5 road games, so none of those are going to be easy. Then the 4 home games are at, we get Auburn at home, who's playing really well. We get Florida at home, who's, I don't know where they're ranked today, but they were top 5 in the country. I can't even remember who the Mississippi State, who's obviously good, and I'm missing one more home one somewhere. Kentucky, we get back right. So I think out of the teams at the top, and if you look, we had by far the toughest schedule. We had Kentucky twice, Auburn twice, Mississippi State twice, had to go to Tennessee. So we've got a tough schedule. So it's the best conference in, I don't know, maybe the last 40 years, last 30 years in college basketball. So look, as it currently stands, we are a 1 seed on most of the kind of mock, whatever these experts are, whether it's Joe Lenardi or whoever, they've got us, Auburn's the number 1 overall seed, and then it's like us and Duke, and then there's a debate as to who the 4th 1 seed is for the NCAA tournament. Now, to maintain a 1 seed is going to take a lot in the last 9, but I don't mind it. We put together a 9-conference schedule. Usually it's the best in the country for a reason, so that we're ready for these games. I think we're going to be more ready. We got to get these guys fresh, mentally fresh, physically healthy, to hit these 9 games, but I think we'll be ready. We're staying out from Arkansas to Texas just because it's a late night game in Arkansas, and then it's a Tuesday in Texas, so instead of getting back super late and then having to turn right back around basically 24 hours later and leave, it's just, all the NBA guys on staff, basically anytime you had 2 road games, you were staying out almost no matter how much time was between them, so they were a little shocked that sometimes we come back home, say we are supposed to be students as well here, so, we do try to come back on most of them so they can go to class, but on this one, we are going to stay out. We go to Arkansas Friday, play them Saturday night. Hopefully we can get a win, and then we go right to Austin, Texas. We'll kind of have the team together for the Super Bowl there, do something kind of together on Sunday for the Super Bowl, have a good day Monday together, have good practice, ready to roll on Tuesday, if we could sweep this road series, we'd be in great shape, with probably the 7 toughest games to close a regular season schedule out of anybody in the country. So, I like where we're at. We've done things different. I like our staff. I think Brian Adams has been great on the defense. We just, all the injuries and stuff we know we got to improve there. Offensively, we got to shoot it better. We got to take care of it better. We are still leading the country in scoring. We did still score 90, even though we had 20 turnovers. So the quality of shots we're getting is pretty high in order to score 90 when you turn it over 20 times. If we could get, our guys stop turning it over and continue with the quality of shots we're getting and make free throws, we'd probably score 100 a few more times, which I think we've done that more than anybody in the country so far this year as well. So we're playing the style we play. We just had to make a few tweaks to it, and we're pretty good. So that's the quick 2-minute timeout version of where we're at right now. I don't know if you guys got some questions. I don't know how long you want me to go. I don't know if some of you have to get back to work, or if we're just all work remote. We're still on COVID deal and nobody shows up to work anymore, or what. So does anybody got something I can go a million different directions. Go ahead. We just hit it and go get it. Look, so I tell them, for those of you that are all into the technique stuff, listen, when you're an old white guy like me and you play at the YMCA league, you like box out until the ball hits the ground and all that stuff. Your coaches used to do. It's a bad idea for athletes like we got. So when you got athletes like Jaron and Cliff, and Grant's a heck of an athlete, like you're 6'10", 6'11", Mo Diabate, get off the ground as quick as anybody. Like, just hit your guy so he's not coming with a full head of steam. As soon as it hits the rim, forget the box outs and just go get the ball. The only exceptions would be maybe if, like, you got one of the smaller guards, like Sears or Holloway, trying to box out some of the best rebounders in the country on a switch or something. Like, they maybe need to hold the check out so Diabate, Grant, Cliff, somebody can go get that. And you know what? We're not doing a great job all the time of it. Like, I'd like to see Cliff, Grant, Jaron go get some above the rim more often. But what I've seen is when we have to step up and be tough, we've been the toughest team in the country. Now, we play Houston, we out-rebound them, we get over half our misses. We play Texas A&M, who's the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the country. We out-rebound them, get over half our misses. We play Mississippi State, who built their whole thing on toughness. We out-rebound them. We get over half our own misses. Like, all the tough teams that we play, we've been tougher than, out-rebounded them. We get in some of the teams that are not so tough, in our opinion, and all of a sudden, we don't bring it the same way we bring it when we know we got to bring it. So that's a little bit of an issue, just because if you're capable of this against Houston, A&M, and Mississippi State, why aren't we beating the heck out of these other teams that aren't anywhere close to this tough or as tough as us? So, there's one guy I know. He don't really have any other way to do it. That he's just kind of a bull in a china shop in there, for good or for bad, but that's Diabate, and he's turning himself into like ultra valuable guy. We got to get him healthy because he needs to play with kind of reckless abandon. It's good and bad. He's like running around like a pinball machine in there sometimes, but taking guys out. But for the most part, it's been pretty good. I mean, last game, he was a plus 20 in like 11 and a half minutes. It's like Herb Jones type, even better than Herb Jones type numbers sometimes. So he's been good. But no, we don't have the slow, unathletic guys, so we're not boxing out for 10 seconds while the ball bounces around on the ground, for your question. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, one, you get them to just hit their open teammates. That would be a good start. When your teammate's wide open and you just keep ramming it in there, I told them today, guys, this ain't that complicated. I coached high school for 11 years. I had freshmen in high school that could make some of these passes you guys are missing. Like, it's like, I mean, we space the floor as anybody, as well as anybody in college basketball. Like, when there's raking down on you and a guy's open 20 feet away, 15 feet, just throw him the ball. Like, before they tie you up, strip you. I think you know what I'm talking about. Like, so that's number one. Just hit your open teammate. That'd be a good start. Number two is like when you do get in the paint and they come, you don't have to jump in the air. Like we call it paint patience. Like have some patience in the paint. We show these guys. We've gone to so most of our guys at this level, when you got a top 10 team in the country, these guys want to be NBA players. We've had 8 guys that have played for us since I've been here go play an NBA game. A lot of guys doing really well. We use it in our recruiting pitch. So we try to use the NBA a lot to teach our guys. So we've literally gone to everyday Coach Pannone shows. We call it confrontational drives, strong finishes, paint patient clips. So we show random guys from the NBA. Jaylen Brown, I'm pretty close with Missoula, with Boston. We like to study their stuff. They had a big comeback yesterday. They're down 26 and somehow found a way to win in Philly. It was big, but like Jaylen Brown's great at it. Jason Tatum's great at it. We even use Peyton Pritchard for our smaller guys like Sears and Holloway. Like, get in the paint, shot fake, get them up, get a foul, shot fake, spin around, hit the guy. We're not doing a very good job of that. We were in the past. Some guys have been. Estrada was the best we've had since I've been here at it. If you remember, he'd show the ball, get guys in the air, spin. He didn't turn it over a whole lot. So we got to get Sears being better at it. Grant Nelson for sure has got to get better at it. He got caught in the air a few times here in these last few games. So those would be 2 big areas to start with. And then just quit trying to make home run plays. We can hit singles all game long and score 100. So we don't seem to have an issue scoring the ball when we don't turn it over. So let's not try to make home run plays. So that's probably 3. We go there and then there. Go ahead. Yeah, so team leadership, team chemistry. We've got 13 guys on scholarship, and typically, it's hard to bat 1,000% when it goes in recruiting to just all get unbelievably great guys. You try to do all your homework, and somewhere there's 1 or 2, and I think you kind of know who I'm referring to on some of the previous teams around here maybe. But I can honestly tell you, all 13 guys are really good guys. Now, getting all 13 to play with max effort on every single play, we're not quite at 13. We're close. All right, and probably know what I'm referring to there as well too. But I think the guys have handled. So we talked about maybe 3-4 weeks ago. We talked about this issue of our starts in the second half. Why has it been so bad? And I like to let the group talk. I tell them all the time, this is your team. I'm here to help you guys get where you want to go. I've been doing this for 25 plus years. I'm going to continue to do it for hopefully another 25 years. We'll see how everything goes. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So I've been here. I will be here. You guys are done after this year, 4 of you. Some of the rest of you will go to the NBA and be done after this year. It's your team. What do we got to do to help you guys be better? So they came up with 3 words: leadership, accountability, and habits. So our leadership's got to be great. We got to be willing to be held accountable and be willing to actually hold your teammates accountable both ways. And then we got to develop the right habits in practice. So, I was trying to hold them accountable to what they wanted on some discipline that went a little public, and it really wasn't that big a deal. I was just trying to make a point. We got to have better starts the second half. We're tied with a team that we weren't as good as, so let's put the 2 starters that maybe weren't doing, that I can hold accountable, and let's see how they handle the accountability. And, so I'll say this, ever since then, unbelievably great leadership. Chris Youngblood's as good a leader as I've had. All right, Mark Sears has handled everything extremely well over the last week and a half, in my opinion. had great meetings with him. Grant Nelson leads by example. I wish he talked a little more, but he's a great kid that plays hard, is tough as nails. Cliff's a little bit the same way. Reitzel will speak up. It's harder with him being out. Houston Mallett's as good a kid, as hard playing as a kid, and he will speak. He's going to be great. I mean, it looks like we're just going to redshirt him for the year. I don't think it'd be fair to him with the amount of games he's missed, knowing he's only got one season left to play him now, because we've got what we need to beat everybody in the country if we do what we need to do with them. And in my opinion, I said it all the time, even when I was a high school coach, you always do right by the player, and I think that turns out right most of the time. And I think what's right by Houston is giving them a full year in our system next year. So we've got good leadership. I like where we're at. Chemistry's been great. There's no real cliques. Guys are together. If you could have seen us out on the mini golf course today, I thought it was great. And then I think that'll kind of take us where we need to get to in the long run. I think some teams that have bad leadership, even though they're talented, tend to implode by the end of the year. Maybe they're playing great at the beginning of the year. We've seen it in our league in the past, teams that look great non-conference, even early, and all of a sudden there's an implosion. Well, that's because it's hard to continue to have guys that want to play together when you got bad apples in the mix. I don't think we have any of that going on with our team right now. Somebody was like, right. Listen, it's, ideally, you recruit a guy, they stay 4 years, adding 3 or 4 guys every year. They cycle through, they pass the culture on to the new guys. Like, that's the way it used to be in college basketball. I say ideally, that'd make my job really easy, because we establish the culture once, and basically you just get your seniors to keep the culture every year, and then the next, and the next. It don't work that way anymore. So, and I could sit here and lament it. Some guys that are pretty young have retired because they don't like the way it went. You just adapt. You figure it out. Like, complaining's never solved one issue ever in anything. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, own businesses or manage people. Like, nobody wants to be around complainers, so why would we complain about the system? Figure it out the best of your capability and adapt and figure it out. So I think our retreat we do every year is big. It gets I don't anticipate us ever having 13 new players. We should always hopefully have at least a few. There's some teams that have 13 new players. For you guys, like, you're going to have to learn to embrace a guy, and 1 year we have him and love him, and he's our guy. Cliff, I'm telling you, if you got to meet Cliff, it would have been great to have Cliff for 5 years with the COVID deal, like he's his 5th year of college. He's an unbelievably great kid. The fact he had never been home to see his mom since he had come to the States as a freshman in high school is a travesty, especially with the amount of NIL that he's been able to get over the last. In fact, we were able to give him enough to send him home. His brother's moved over here, stays with them, his older brother. Like, he's got an unbelievable story that hopefully you all get to learn about him. But you guys got to learn to embrace these guys, even if they're only here 1 year. Estrada helped lead us to a Final Four. Let's embrace him, every time. A lot of these guys are coming back in 2 weeks for the Auburn game, because it'll be NBA All-Star break, and they'll be back. They'll be in the front row. Let's, cheer them loud, even if we're only here 1 year. So it may be harder than it used to be, but everybody's dealing with the same thing. So learn to adapt, dive all into these guys, recruit great kids as much as possible, do things like our retreat where you can build chemistry. Those 48 hours we have with those guys, some of that you can't get in 3 or 4 months without it. So do stuff like that. Find different ways to build chemistry. I have them to my house. We watch football. I have them in groups to my house. I take them on the boat in the summer. I try to get to know them as quick as possible in the summer as people, make sure that they know we care about them and love them as people. When they're playing bad, have them over more, spend more time with them, praise them for who they are as young men. Don't just praise them for their good play. Like, I think you got to build them up as young men. And, me being a high school coach, I think it helps with a lot of that stuff. Like, I should have kids live with me for 2 years, weeks at a time, this and that. So I'm not going to have anybody living with me. They got enough NIL, they can have their own place. But, I'll have them over to the house a little bit more. So we definitely make sure they got enough money to have their own spot. So hold on, wait, our hand up way back there first. Yeah, honestly, I think this whole weekend's a little bit of a trap game. Now, I will say that I'm more with you on Texas and Arkansas. Arkansas just beat Kentucky. It'll be at Arkansas. I think we can really pump our guys up this whole week. Like Arkansas is not as bad as their record. They got a lot of talent. They got guys that are going to be playing in the NBA on that roster. Calipari's, one of the best recruiters that's ever coached in college basketball, and he's got a good roster. So, I think we can get them up for that. The Texas one, I'm going to lean on our leadership, who sometimes has come through. But, I'm going to tell them, guys, it's February. We're going to find out who the best leaders are. Texas has talent, too. Trey Johnson's supposed to be a lottery pick. They've got guys that are good. They've got, Arthur Kaluma's been a really good college player. You can kind of go down the list. You guys are going to have to make sure we're ready to go. And we're going to make sure that they're fresh. We're not going to overdo the practice Sunday or Monday. It's almost like, guys, I'm going to make a deal with you. We're going to make sure your legs are fresh. You got to make sure that you use your fresh legs to go max effort and be ready to go on Tuesday night. So, we'll have some individual meetings with the seniors, the leaders, but it's going to have to come from them. Hopefully you guys know me well enough. You're not going to see me sitting like a bump on a log on the sideline. I'm going to come with some energy. I've yet to get a tee this year. If we got to get one of those, we get one of those, whatever we got to do. So we'll be all in on making sure they're ready to go. Chris, how long do I have here? Go to 1:30, 8 minutes? All right, we got probably time for 2 or 3 more here. So his question is SEC tournament. I guess Jay Billis, I didn't hear this comment, but Jay Billis made a comment that winning the SEC tournament may be harder than winning the NCAA tournament. He may be right, because honestly, you may end up having to play 3 top 10 teams back to back to back, depending on how it all breaks. I hope we take care of business and we're a 1 seed. We could play really good basketball and still end up 2, 3, 4, whatever seed. As long as you're a top 4 seed, you only have to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But whoever the 8 seed is, whoever the 7 seed, the 6 seed, that you may have to play in your first round on Friday, there's a good chance they're top 10 team or top 15. So, and you got to go back to back to back. The most you got to play in the NCAA tournament is just 2 games in 3 days. It's Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday the whole time. Or you get to the Final Four Saturday, Monday. So, look, I'll say this. We're deep. Hopefully we can avoid any more major injuries. We end up with 10 guys that have all played significant amount of minutes. Use your depth. Do it wisely. You got to win the game, so you can't sit guys, hoping to have them fresh on Saturday and not get out of Friday. But, we've tended to play pretty well in Nashville on Fridays. If we can play well and drill somebody good, even if they're a good team, I think we're capable of it. If we can get them really locked in, ready, focused, fresh, ready to go for that Friday game, the more you're able to come out of that gate early, and we've done it the other way where, against Tennessee a few years back, the first year we won it, Tennessee in the semi, we were down 17, I believe, came back and won. That was on Saturday. But I think the more you can be ready for your first game Friday, the better you can do to make sure you're a top 4 seed. And look, I think you guys all know me well enough. I'm not trying to ever lose. So, some people say, well, it's not the worst that you lose. Yeah, we did that last year. We got fresh. We made the Final Four run. That wasn't the plan. So that's never going to be the plan. Now, if it happens that way, we'll spin it. We've done it both ways now. you know, but that's not the plan. We're going to go in there and try to win that thing. So, yeah, right there. And then you're the last one. We'll go 1, 2. There we go. It's playing a lot better for us this year. Yeah, I don't know if that's what you're trying to say or not. This is not the Alabama Crimson Tide Tip-Off Club either, so I know we probably got some Auburn fans in here. Hey, they do a great job over there. They're the #1 team in the country for a reason. So what's the question? Yeah, what do we attribute Aiden Holloway playing so much better over here with us than he did last year over there with Auburn is the question. So, look, let me give the most obvious one. He's got a year of college under his belt. So we've had guys that have left here and probably played a little better elsewhere after a freshman year here. Sometimes it takes a freshman year. I will say this. I do think that we definitely have different systems. They're both very good. We both won a lot of college games playing the way we played. They definitely play through the post a little bit more than we do. You know, they run a lot more flex, a lot of it, you know, a lot more than we do. You know, we run a little bit more ball screen, a little bit more in the flow, up and down. We run fewer controlled sets. I think this is a kid that probably plays a little bit better in pick and rolls. You see him come off and can shoot coming off pick and rolls, plays a little bit better in the flow, a little bit more free-flowing, less sets, you know, and a little bit faster pace. I think all suited him a little bit better. And just the fact that he's one more year in college. So, look, Auburn's, Coach Pearl's done an unbelievable job. I mean, you look at what that program was, this is his 11th year, I believe. You know, 11 seasons ago where they were when he took over, not very good at all. A lot worse than what I took over, to be honest with you. So for him to turn that thing around like he's done a great job. They've had NBA success like we've had. You know, they've had good players. So, you know, I wouldn't say he was in a bad system, just in a different system. And I think probably ours is a little bit better for him in the fact he's a little bit more motivated, you know, since not having quite the freshman year. But he had some good games for him, particularly early in the year. So I think I got out of that good if anybody's evaluating that. You know, like, they tried to trick me again. Like, no, I'm just kidding. Like 3 years ago. We got one more. All right. So she's already on to next year. So we still got, I like it though. Preston, I should have brought Preston along for that answer. Look, so I think I've got the best recruiter in the country on our staff. Preston Murphy's absolutely, you know, crushed it on the recruiting trail. You know, he keeps me in a loop. Okay, so we've got 3 high school guys signed, and we're going to lose more than that. Obviously, we got 4 seniors that are done this year. I think some underclassmen will probably end up staying in the draft based on some feedback. You know, we'll probably lose a couple more guys to the portal, like who knows. So we probably got to fill at least 3 or 4 more. We're recruiting one high school kid very hard right now. From what we've heard, it's kind of down to us and maybe 1 or 2 other schools. So we're going after one more. The 3 high school guys we've got are playing really well. So this kid, Davion Mitchell, that goes to Link, the same one that Phylon went to, is having a really good season. For a while, he was leading the UIBL in scoring, 6'6", kind of combo guard with a 6'10" wingspan that plays both sides of the ball. He's good. He's from Milwaukee, not far from where I grew up originally. We got on this first year, we've gone back to Wisconsin. I had a pretty good point guard. I recruited at Buffalo from Wisconsin. I haven't really gone back since. But we got 2 from Wisconsin down here. Another kid, Amari Allen's been having a bunch of triple doubles. Another 6'6" kind of combo guard that pass, dribble, shoot. Shot over 40% on the Adidas circuit, shooting it really well in high school this year. And he's good. Like I think he's got a chance to be really good. I love him. Then we got a 6'9", kind of stretch 3-4 London Jimison, playing out in the prep school league in New England from Connecticut originally. Like, he's shooting it like as well as anybody in high school. So we got 3 wing, combo guard, wing types. We're looking for, we got to get another guard, point guard, combo, whatever you want to call it, for sure, if not 2. We got to get some bigs. You know, Grant and Cliff are both gone. So we got to go get a rim protector somewhere. That's probably going to have to come in the portal. So, you know, we've got our eyes on some that may come, you know, some kids that have already, you know, whatever. It's not working out as well, and we think that they can protect the rim. We can't talk to them, nor do we want to tamper at all. But if you're not looking, I mean, some of these programs have hired general managers. I think our football team has, they have, you know, Courtney's called general manager, I believe. So, like, if you're not poring over who may go in the portal and how they fit what your needs are, you're really not doing your job. So we don't have a general manager, nor do I think we necessarily need one. Preston, I think, is the best recruiter in the country, so he's kind of de facto GM, but he's also an unbelievable coach. We also have our analytics company that we, you know, have hired to do, and they've got a lot to do with that. So they will have a list of guys that they will give us that these guys fit exactly what we want. Keep looking to see if they hit the portal. As soon as they hit I mean, Estrada was one. I mean, you know, he's at a mid-major. A guy that had as good a season as he had, likely to hit the portal because Hofstra doesn't have NIL like we do. So, I mean, it's not, you don't have to tamper. Like, some of these guys are at places that just don't have rev share or NIL like we do. Just financially, it makes sense that they might hit the portal. So you've got a list. As soon as they do hit the portal, you try to be the first call, you know, and you get on them. We were the first call to Estrada, and we were on it. So, yes, we will be hitting the portal. There's, I think, maybe one high major program in the country left that doesn't really try to go to the portal much, you know, maybe count on one hand. We are not trying to flip the whole roster over every year, but honestly, if we get 3 or 4 high school kids, 3 to 5 portal kids, and keep 4 or 5 guys from the previous season, that would be ideal for us. So that's what we've been able to do here recently. I think it's working for us. I think it's what we're going to continue to try to do, and that's probably where we're at. So it's 132. We went overtime a little bit. For those of you that actually have to work in a building, you can get out of here. Is there anything else I need to address before I get out of here? Look, I'll say this. Thank you. You guys have been great, the Alabama fans, and I honestly, the Auburn ones and whoever else cheers for other programs. Look, like I think we're 3rd in the country in the AP poll today. All right, somebody sent me that on my drive here. Auburn's 1st, we're 3rd. Okay, we at Alabama, we were a 2 seed my 2nd year here. We were the number 1 overall seed my 4th year here. We were made a Final Four last year. So we've either been a 1 or a 2 seed 4 of the 5 years that the tournament's gone on that I've been here. All right, Auburn's the number 1 team in the country right now. They made a Final Four the year before I got here. We've now, crazy as it may sound, I mean, we've become a little bit of the Mecca in college basketball in this state. So I know we've got people from both sides at this tip-off club. For basketball fans in the state of Alabama, I would venture to say this is the best it's ever been in the history of the state of Alabama for basketball fans. We now have 2 teams ranked in the top 3. We've got Final Four teams in the last, 7 years now, I can say, from both the programs in the state. They're number 1. We're a game behind them. An SEC state, or a half a game, I guess. They've only played 8. They're 8-0 and we're 8-1. So, look, it's been great. So let's continue to support basketball in the state of Alabama. It's a healthy rivalry. I got a ton of respect for them. I think they've got some respect for us. And these 2 games are going to be 2 all-out wars. It's going to be fun. If you don't have season tickets, you should have got them. It's too late now, but you're going to have to go out on the open market and try to get tickets this one if you don't have it. And they're not cheap, nor should they be. All right, when we go to their place, because it's a lot smaller venue, it's going to be more harder to get a ticket. So we play at their place the last game of the regular season. It may have the most riding on the line of any regular season college basketball game in the country, depending on how the next month goes. So basketball in the state of Alabama has never been better at the college level, in large part to the support from all of you guys. So I appreciate it. Let's keep it rolling, Roll Tide.
Thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate you taking the time and making the effort to get here. Thank you. Yeah. Get your squadron tickets on the way out. They're waiting on you at the table.
Just Roll Tide, Nate Oats.
That's perfect.